Welcome to RTS Confessions. Today we're checking in with friend of the show and lifelong worker Minna Mac. Minna is filled with more hot takes and passionate opinions than anyone I know. We recently sat down for our third interview together and discussed her planned tour of historic prostitution sites, how work is changing for the worse, annoying clients she has, and Mormons, amongst other things. Timestamps are in the description. Enjoy. Minna Mac, welcome back.
Hey, what's up?
I'm glad we can check in and just see where your life is at. What have the last 2 years been like for you?
Pretty good. I had an idea where I was basically going to go on tour and, show people historic prostitution sites.
What's a historic prostitution site?
Well, there's a history of prostitution everywhere because prostitution is essentially the oldest profession in the world. And so every place, every location in the world has a history to it of prostitution. So I'm really interested in that, which is what I feature on my Patreon page.
I didn't know you had a Patreon.
Yeah.
So this is for historians. That's what your Patreon is for?
Yeah, people that are interested.
You get naked too though, I'm assuming.
Huh?
You get naked though too on it.
Oh no, not on
no.
No,
Wow.
Not on my
Sorry,
Patreon. No. No, you won't see. That's fan view.
But you can do nudity on Patreon.
I think so. People do nude cooking, people do all kinds of things. Yeah, it's just essentially OnlyFans, but not with all the hype.
What is the most historic prostitution site that you've been to that has the best story behind it?
Oh, well, the best one was definitely San Bernardino. San Bernardino, California, operated openly for 90 years for prostitution. Prostitution is basically the reason that San Bernardino is a city today, because through the Great Depression, when nobody had any money, prostitution basically kept the economy open.
So there's a lot of places like that, like Western kind of, because they had those old brothels, so it's it's part of the history of the West.
Yes, there's a lot definitely on the East Coast as well, which I haven't visited, but yeah, there is a lot.
That's why there's still so much prostitution that's legal in Nevada, because it's just part of the history of those towns to have whorehouses.
Yeah, I think so, but no, I think that it's in the world. I'm not just specifying to be the West Coast.
Okay.
Prostitution is the oldest profession, period.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It's not just separated to.
So wait, but your tour was only on the West Coast.
That's mine.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm more interested in, is going further, going to other places.
So when did San Bernardino stop having prostitution?
Probably the 1950s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So pretty recent.
Yeah.
Are there any other states that have it still legal, or is it just Nevada?
It's not legal per se in Nevada. Everybody thinks it's legal in Las Vegas.
It's not in Vegas.
Outside of Vegas, yeah. Pahrump.
Like the Bunny Ranch on that TV show.
Yeah, that's kind of a different type of prostitution that I don't dibble dabble in though, because it's when you work at bunny ranches, you kind of have to do what they say, and what they say to their clients, it's you kind of have to please them. So a lot of girls are having sex without rubbers at bunny ranches. Yeah, getting, swallowing and, doing all kinds of outrageous things without rubbers. So that's what's going on. So.
Yeah, and it's like a job.
Yeah.
You have a boss.
And I guess it's acceptable because they're seeing the doctor, but I kind of don't, agree with that.
I'm shocked that I would think that would go down more when it's black market than when it's, regulated.
Well, apparently it's going on all over.
Well, you were saying that it's a problem now. No one's safe sex is not happening.
It definitely is a problem. People aren't having safe sex. I don't know if you're even paying attention, but sometimes, when I was younger, you used to go and get a certain brand of condoms and they wouldn't be there because everybody was on the fad of buying a certain brand of condoms, get these. But now you can go and it's the shelves are stocked of condoms, and it's damn, are people not using these? And I know people are not using them because, there's 10 guys a day that text message me and they're like, do you do raw? Do you do bare? You know what I mean? And so it's just And from what I know, it seems like girls are actually doing this for, you know, 100 or 150 bucks, which is like basically what you could get, you know, on a regular basis without having to do anything unprotected. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn. So yeah, and then another thing that's like new to me is that a lot of girls are like agreeing to do anal.
That wasn't something that you would do?
No.
No.
No, definitely not.
Just shitting on guys.
Just that shitting on guys is definitely different. I couldn't like let him fuck me in my ass. There's the thing, like, I think it's like natural shit comes out of my ass. If he wants to eat it or catch it, that's his business. You know what I mean? Like, but I think it's like more on the submissive side of a woman to let somebody fuck her in the ass.
I guess, yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But that's, you know, some women's thing, you know.
This is a new generation,
Yeah.
by the way, because women did not used to do this. Do you understand? Just like giving head was like unexceptional at one point for women to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
well, there's not a lot of sex workers that I've talked to that do like submissive services, you know. It's usually more of a dominance thing. Because I think if you're putting yourself with all these strange men doing something that puts you in a dangerous position.
I think so too.
But is that becoming more common as well?
That women are being, yeah. I think now women do what they want to do with dates, and well, basically, I wouldn't say do what they want to do. I think that they let dates talk them into doing whatever. You know what I mean? When I used to work the streets, we always used to make the dates get a room. He would have to get a room, and he would have to pay us separately. So he would pay for the room, and you know, we would date him. And most of the time he would let us keep the room, you know what I mean? Because he got it all night or whatever, that kind of thing. And so it's like now dates expect you to have a location put together already and for you to be waiting there damn near 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Like, and we didn't have to do that, you know, if we were outside or we were working or whatever, or if we were on the internet, the dates would always know that it was their job to get a room. And I would say that it wasn't even just about being a date. It was like about being the man in the situation.
Right.
Because, you know, even Squares, like we'll take it for Squares for one example, right? If people are boyfriend and girlfriend and they're going together or whatever, and you have a girlfriend and you want to have sex with her, she's going to expect you to provide a place to have sex with her. You know, like you can't keep fucking her in the stairwell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely can't do that. You can't keep fucking her in the stairwell. You can't keep fucking her at your fucking mother's house. Like, you know, sooner or later, she's going to get tired of that.
Yeah. But isn't part of what they're paying for is like not having to have responsibility, just make it easy?
No, it isn't what they're paying for. It's not my responsibility for a man to have somewhere to go. Period. Like, that's what? And then you're paying, you want to pay me the price of the room. So essentially you're getting a free fucking date if you're not paying for the room and me.
You were telling me before that people are normalizing HIV.
Yeah.
Did you mean in sex work or did you just mean in general?
In life, everywhere. People are normalizing it. Yeah.
Have you been seeing it like come up with people you know?
Well, me personally, I've seen people die from AIDS. I've seen what it looks like. You know, it's not pretty. It's not like a pleasant sight. And I think that scares me. And like you said earlier, right? There's this like, you know, I think that there's like this generation of people who's like, oh, well, you don't know. And there's been 4 people who've been cured from HIV AIDS. And, you know, you don't pass it around like you used to be able to. And it's like, yeah, I get it. But I also know that you have to take those meds every day, okay? And I also understand that as a woman, you know, that has taken birth control and things like that in the past, some days you fucking forget. And that's the truth, okay? And your viral load may not be, you know what I mean, high at the time or for you to, you know, spread it enough at the time, but still, there are fucking slip-ups and they do count and they do amount. So it's like, you know, and we live in this whole generation where people are like, oh, well, if they told me if they told me they had HIV, it's something that I chose and this, that, and the other. Well, it's like a mind thing because I think I was listening to this story where some chick was like, Yeah, this guy had HIV and he gave it to me and I knew about it. Like, that's what she chose. And she was like the happiest thing. And it's like, we used to be terrified of shit like that. And so now I feel like it's okay, like, like back, even not in the sex industry or whatever. It's just like, we're not teaching safe sex, and we're not teaching, oh, well, wait till you get married to have sex either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's what Charlie Sheen was doing. Like, it was a rumor, so it may not be true, but I mean, I think he was like paying these women tons of money to have sex with them because he knew he was HIV positive for a long time. So these women were like, all right, he's HIV positive, but he's giving me 50 grand. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went on this tour
Uh-huh.
and it didn't work out.
It didn't.
Why not?
Well, it worked out for me fine. You know, I got some game, learned about some places, but yeah, it's just like females have a hard time working with other females unless there's like a man involved. Yeah.
So what happened? You were on this tour with friends?
No, I didn't end up going with friends. I ended up going by myself. There was one chick who was supposed to come from the East Coast, and then there was this other chick in Vegas, and then a couple of chicks in LA, and we were all supposed to meet up in Reno. But for some reason, this girl took over the whole show and she wanted us to fucking meet up in Vegas. And it's like, girl, why do we have to meet in Vegas? Because that's where she was, right? And so it just got irritating. So I just let them, I said, hey, if you guys want to go with her and meet up in Vegas, that's all good. But I just saw what was going to happen. Like, it was like she didn't want to leave where she was, even though Reno and Vegas are in the same state, basically, but everybody else was coming from another state.
Right.
Yeah.
Why did you want to go to Reno?
I like Reno, actually. People in Reno were very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, super nice. And I didn't know this at the time, but they don't discriminate. I feel like when I'm in other places, especially LA, they discriminate, on me because, I'm Black a lot of the times. And they're like, oh, she's Black, she's a hooker. And a lot of times it doesn't even matter what the fuck I'm wearing. I could be fully clothed and it's just like, oh, she's Black, she's a hooker.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, whatever. But when I went to Reno, it's like, they didn't give a fuck.
Right.
It was like, hi, how you doing? You're so gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And they were really, really nice. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Vegas, I think is probably like that too, right?
No.
No.
Vegas.
No, I mean, Vegas is probably like discriminatory.
Oh, yeah, they are definitely discriminatory in Vegas, yeah.
So you wanted to go on this tour from Reno to where?
I wanted to go from Reno probably to Chicago.
And did you go on some of the tour by yourself?
Later on, I did.
And where did you go?
I ended up in Omaha, Nebraska.
It doesn't seem like the spot. It doesn't seem like the...
It wasn't really the spot, but it did surprise me culturally because I thought that it was just a bunch of redneck hillbillies. And I was definitely surprised that there are more Black people in Omaha, Nebraska than there are in Los Angeles.
Really?
Definitely. Go out there. The reaction that you had is the reaction that I had when I got there.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the white people that are there are like cool as shit. They're like not hella fucking like uptight like how white people are in California. Like white people in California don't even fucking talk to you. It's like I complimented some lady on her top the other day and she was like, like pissed off that I, complimented her on her top. It was just wild. And it's like, God, okay. So I said, thank you for her. Yeah. Like...
But you still kind of want to do that. It was a good idea.
I do want to do it and I want to vlog it. Like, and I want to have fun with it. You know what I mean? And so...
Well, we could talk. I mean, I don't have the bandwidth to help you with this, but I can definitely, like, you can call me and we could talk about kind of how you might be able to execute this. Because I could see this being like a series that you could have behind a paywall and have like a free version maybe on TikTok. You have to be careful about the subject matter. But if it's about history, I think that's an area that not a lot of people are covering, and I'm interested in it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I think there's ways that you could do this where like you could do a couple of these as kind of a prototype and then maybe do like a GoFundMe or something to promote like, hey, we want to make this something that I can afford to do more regularly.
Yeah.
But I would say like don't expect to make a ton of money out of it off the gate. You'd be lucky to be able to like make enough to cover the expenses of even traveling.
Yeah, right? I couldn't imagine.
So like where would you want to go? Where are like the historic spots that really interest
I'm like, so I got my passport last year.
you? Yeah.
And so like now like my mind is like broadened to these locations or whatever, of course, because like there's so many places all over the world where culturally speaking, prostitution is not a negative thing.
Yeah, I mean it's legal in a lot of Europe.
Exactly. And actually sex work has been legal in Australia since 1996.
Yeah, in France they have like historic like brothels and stuff like that because they had that old like Moulin Rouge.
Red light district thing going on. Yes, yes, yes. So,
And in Germany it's legal too.
is it?
Yeah, it's legal in Germany.
Yeah, so people like when it's legal, people don't have such a like it's not like it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, you're going, you're going to work.
But at the same time, like there's the history probably isn't as interesting as when it's been a black market thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the history of prostitution in America is probably pretty interesting because I know in New York they definitely have historic like old whorehouses in New York. Things that were whorehouses. I think they still have that because I think they decriminalized it, right?
Where?
At New York City. I read that. They decriminalized it.
I didn't know.
I think they did.
No.
Okay, you would know better.
Look, maybe they were speaking of doing such a thing. Hey, well, they kind of had a rumor about them decriminalizing it here to decriminalizing it.
Yeah.
And it's true that it's not, okay, you don't go to jail for it.
Yeah.
You get a ticket.
Yeah.
But after you don't pay your tickets if you don't pay your tickets or you don't go to court, you will go to jail.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, but they call that to the extent of decriminalizing it because it's like you're not just being arrested. They're not doing stings on you, so you go to jail. But it's like, yeah, soliciting sex is illegal.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is in New York where it's
But companionship, you can have companionship. That's not illegal. Escort agencies are actually not illegal in America at all.
Yeah.
There's something called a SOB, just a sexually orientated business license. And so those are not illegal to have at all in America if you know what you're doing. It's like...
So a strip club would have to have that as well.
Hanging out is... a woman can be paid to hang out.
Right, of course.
Okay, yeah, you can be paid to hang out. You can pay a woman to go to dinner. You cannot pay a woman for sex.
Right.
You get it? Yeah. So that's what, the escort is.
But an SOB, they would need an SOB even if what you're paying for them is non-sexual in nature?
Yes. Yeah, because that's what it's orientated business license. It doesn't mean you can have sex.
Yeah.
It's like strip clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to have an SOB. Yeah. Because they're doing something sexy.
You're not paying them for anything sexy. I guess they do maybe advertise as like, oh, these are beautiful women and like...
You think what you want to think. Like, and it's like basically a lot of times it's like whatever happens between two adults happens behind closed doors and that's their business. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But as far as the girl coming out to meet you, that's like nothing. That's what she's being paid for. If she decides to do more with you because you're cute... you could tip her.
What is it like in Mexico?
Oh.
That could be
I
an easier
haven't
spot.
even looked at the history in Mexico, but I would be completely afraid to go down there by myself.
Yeah.
From what I could understand, I don't think that a lot of girls are like prostituting freely. I think a lot of girls in Mexico are actually being trafficked by the cartel. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on camera.
You're correct. I was in a small town in Mexico and I saw the strip club. I'm like, let's just go in, like, cause it's a small town. Like, what is the strip club like here? And like, you could hear like the record stop, like when we walked in. They were like immediately like, hey, sit here. Like, and we're like, no, I think we're gonna leave because I felt like they were gonna like fucking scam us or something.
So wait, did you even see the strippers?
No, it was like between girls, and then we like sat down for a minute, and then like everyone was looking at us where we were like, we should leave because this isn't a good vibe. Yeah.
I have gotten that awkwardness before. Like, I hate when I'm walking by people and they have full-blown conversations and all of a sudden they walk by me and they're quiet. Like, what the fuck makes, like, why did you stop talking as soon as I come around? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, am I gonna steal your secrets or what? Like, what are you telling over there? Like, what the?
You were telling me about this website that I should use to find talent for RTS.
God. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. You said it's like a Craigslist.
I don't want to comment.
Why not?
Because I don't want it on camera because it was private information that I gave you.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we put it on the internet, people are going to go and blow up the site.
Okay.
If you blow it up, it's going to go away just like all the other sites did if you blow them up. Like, that's why there's no back page now. So yeah, that forces girls back on the street, which is not fun.
So you've been using Boop website.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's better.
So this website that shall not be named.
Let them come to me and pay for it if they want to know.
It's like the new Backpage, you're saying.
It is definitely like the new Backpage, but I think that there's a lot of fuckery going on where people are like fucking for free. And so that makes it kind of fucked up.
It's like a dating site.
I wouldn't say people are even dating. I asked some guy to take me to go to breakfast, and he was like, "Why would you ask me to take you to go to breakfast? I don't even know you." And I was like, "Well, aren't we meeting up to have sex? You know? You don't know me either to be meeting up with me and to be having sex, but what's wrong with a cup of coffee?" It's like those guys. They don't even want to buy you a meal. It's like, what the fuck?
What kind of... You mean people are just trying to get free shit out of sex workers on the site?
I wouldn't say
people are
it's
just
even
finding
sex
each other
workers.
to...
I'm saying that people, men in particular, are taking advantage of women, okay? Lonely women at that, okay? And she's got to be a lonely woman to post a fucking ad and be like, "Hey, come over, I'm lonely." Because it definitely says that, you know what I mean? And so it's like...
What kind of woman is going on this site?
Bring one up.
I mean...
I bring one on the show, and I want to know. I want to know too. Bring one on the show. Bring one on the show. You know what I mean? And we'll see what kind of women are.
You know, and also the guys that would pursue a woman like that, not thinking they're about to get their organs harvested. You know what I mean? Like, some woman's like, "Yeah, come fuck me for free. Just come here and fuck me on the fucking, you know, D-list."
And it seems like
page.
that they're meeting, right?
Right.
Like, I had one guy who was willing to come. As soon as I asked him to buy something, it was like, "Oh no." So I started going about the ways of, because I knew I couldn't ask for money, right? Like, because, you know, they shut me down as soon as possible.
Right.
If I ask for money on there, all of a sudden, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? The guys won't even conversate with me. So, but when I get the guys to come in transit en route, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you want to stop at the store and buy some weed and get this and get that?" It's like all of a sudden the guys are like upset with me.
Yeah.
"How dare you, you fucking bitch!" And, you know, like, it's like fucking wild. And it's like, you know, "How dare you, you're a fucking gold digger, you're a fucking gold." And it's kind of fucked up because as women, I feel like we've built this life for us where we're like, "Oh, well, I'm independent, I can work." By the way, I didn't ask for the right to work, okay? You know, I should put that on there. You know, I did not ask for the right to work. Not at all. You know, no offense, but that was white woman's dig. It didn't no black woman, you know, come and be like, "Oh, we want to work." Why would black women want to work? Black women have been working in this country for free for 450 years. Yeah. You know, during slavery and whatnot, that was free labor, right? You know what I mean? Come on now. And so, you know, the right to work, we didn't want the right to fucking work. We wanted to be a fucking housewife like white women. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real, like, you know? And so that's their whole bit of, "Oh, I want to work, I'm independent." Yeah, you go do that, bitch. We don't want to. Can we have like some kind of separate law? You know, like, on God, like, you know? And so it's like the gender roles are confused, period. Like, in the game, and if you're fucking for free, whatever, the gender roles are confused. It's like, nowadays, men expect women to be handling every fucking thing, and that's their job nowadays. And that it's just like wild to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, so why, if you're telling me I have to pay somebody to fix the sink when you're here and you can fucking fix the sink, why the fuck do I need you? It can't be for dick, right? Like, because I can fucking fuck myself with a giant dildo.
Well, yeah. Why are you looking for that, like the gender roles from a client, though?
I'm not looking for gender roles from clients.
Yeah.
I'm speaking in just general, not, But yeah, either way, why would I want gender? Because he's a man and I'm a woman.
Right.
And, men and women should treat each other no matter what the fuck. So I'm going to lead another example. On that site, I found some guy, he wanted to take me to Hawaii for 5 days. Okay. And so in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you going to pay me for my time? Right? He's like, oh, no. Okay. I was like, so when we get there, like, do I get my own room? He was like, absolutely not. So basically, I'm going with you for 5 fucking days out of my time. And I'm not going to have my own room, so I won't be able to date because you'll be in the fucking room, so I won't be able to get any fucking money, right? And I'll probably be with you this whole 5 days, and you're probably gonna expect to fuck. So he's like, he thinks that it's okay, that he's paying for my plane ticket and the meals while I'm there. So basically, when I come back, I've just fucked you for 5 days and basically just got fed and a fucking, plane ticket. And mind you, he's getting the plane ticket. So if I don't fuck him the way he wants to fuck, I'm pretty sure he's gonna cancel that ticket and leave my ass on an island. Yeah, right? Think about it, And so it's like, dude, I'm not, like I told him, I'm not fucking going with you for 5 days to a fucking island, like, and you're not even gonna pay me to go, okay? And you're not gonna, that you're fucking feeding me. I don't give a fuck about that shit. That shit doesn't fucking help me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. The end of the day, it doesn't fucking, so I do all this, spend 5 days with you that time, and I come back to LA broke.
What did he say to that?
He
had to have understood that.
Huh?
He had to have understood where you're
He
coming
did. He just didn't give a shit. He just didn't give a shit. He thought that, being able to pay for the room, not even the room, being able to pay for the flight ticket and the food was good enough. And it's like,
yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. Like 5 days? Dude, at least give me fucking $500, $100 a day, right? Which is not even shit. Like, offer me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How do you negotiate these things? Like, I assume when you just see someone for a regular date, like, you're not negotiating.
It seems like in person, it's way better because I got, like, most recently I was at this, like, I know the Dodgers game just began. So I was staying at this, like, hotel and it had a bar underneath it. And I, was able to scope out guys or whatever. And in person, I had caught a $500 date from a guy in person. You know what I mean? So... And mind you, this guy had never dated anybody before either. So it wasn't like a situation like these guys. So I think these guys on this site know exactly what they're doing.
They're more experienced in doing this.
Yeah, and I not even just doing this. I think am I crazy enough to think that after you meet 4 girls on a website and have sex with all 4 of them for free, you begin to think that that's how the website is.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And so out of nowhere, when some chick comes and she's like, yeah, I want dinner and I want $300. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I need to check out this website because it's shocking to me that people are just finding each other to meet to have sex for free on this website. And they're not like gonna kill each other. Or
it's definitely some weirdos, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely got some be some weirdos. I don't know if they're like meth addicts.
I would assume shit like that.
How
do you tell a weirdo so you're not like in a dangerous or fucked up situation?
What do you mean, like over the phone? Or?
Yeah.
Well, it's easy to tell a weirdo most of the time because that's another thing I wanted to talk about. We live in this generation where people have horrible communication skills. Like people will only text, they will not call.
I'm into that. I like that. It's just time saver.
Okay, yeah, but so I get what you're saying, but if you call somebody right now and they're a sex worker, you probably want to have sex with them, right? You already know what you want, why you're calling me. But instead, we're going through a fucking 20 or 30 minute text message of, hi, how you doing? Sure, what's your name? Hey, where you from?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
That's the shit that you call for. Yeah. I can't understand having a conversation over text. I don't know how some people do that. They text all day like,
dude, and and with a text message, I'm the kind of person who doesn't notice it or even see it till like shit 5 or 10 minutes later. It might be a fucking hour till I see it, and that's when I fucking respond to it. So could you imagine how long the conversation's being drawn on for? Like I've talked to some guys for 2 fucking days through a text message.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what the fuck I do now is after the 3rd or 4th text message, I pick up the phone and I call you. And if you don't answer the phone, I will block you because you're playing a game now.
Yeah. Well, you're running a business, and I think a lot of them don't see it that way. You know what I mean? They don't really kind of think about like that your time is money, you know?
Yeah.
But what are some of the more weirdo guys that you've had to deal with in person?
Okay, well, most recently I got caught in a blizzard in Wyoming. And there was this guy, he was like a chubby guy, and he couldn't figure out what he wanted sexually, but he knew that it wasn't vaginal sex. So he wanted to be peed on. How he figured out that he wanted to be peed on, no idea. This time, for some reason, I tried to pee and I really couldn't.
You were stuck with him in the blizzard.
Not with him. He was like across the hall from me in my room.
Got it.
Like I rented one room and he was like across the hall. So yeah.
Why were you in Wyoming?
We were coming from Omaha and yeah, we got stuck because Wyoming's
You drove to Omaha.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. No, Wyoming is like, I think it's the state with the least amount of people in it. You know what I mean?
It's hell. I see why. I definitely see why nobody fucking goes to Wyoming.
Yeah.
And then the people there are fucking rude. Like there was this fucking black guy, right? He was like, "Where are you from?" Mind you, we're in bumfuck middle of nowhere, Wyoming, right? He's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah." He was like, "There's no black people in Utah." And I'm like, "Dude, I didn't know there were any black people in Wyoming."
You're going back to Utah, you said?
Yeah, in a couple days I'll be there.
For what?
I work there.
You work there doing what? Same old, same old?
Yeah, work.
So it's worth going out there just to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Why? Why not just stay here and not pay to go there?
Because it's,
better there.
It is better. The culture is better. People are nicer. People are more generous.
Yeah.
Here in LA, it's like a greedy fucking culture. I can't buy you shit. I can't do shit for you. Can't do shit for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But like, I imagine there's just like a bunch of Mormon guys that are like, this is like their secret life. You know what I mean? That you probably see.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Yeah.
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 Mormons, to be honest, I don't think there is like a secret life that they think they have. I think that they go on the fact that everybody has this judgment of them and they kind of like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They kind of like it. They kind of like the fact that people are like, "Oh, don't go to Utah. It's this kind of place." It's really not, but they enjoy that people don't go there because, when people go, you fucking drive up the price of living.
So the Mormons keep people from gentrifying because they're like, I don't know.
Americans. They keep Americans from gentrifying.
Yeah,
they definitely believe in going out of the country and getting people and bringing them back. That's definitely what they believe in, on God. But, Americans, it's like, you guys kind of have their own way of feeling about Mormons anyways. And by the way, they don't like to be called Mormons. They're Latter-day Saints. 2 different things. So.
But aren't the Latter-day Saints, aren't those the saints? Like, all the people that follow it aren't saints.
What?
The Latter-day Saints are the saints.
No, I don't.
The people are the saints?
No.
Isn't a saint like the one you pray to?
What are you talking about? You pray to God.
Yeah, but the Latter-day Saints, like, well, there's like saints.
I'm like, what are you talking? No, you're speaking like of a Catholic religion. This is not.
It's okay. I don't.
Like, what are you talking about, dude?
I didn't think they were saints. I thought the Latter-day Saints was like part of it, but the people that follow it, I don't know.
No, the people that follow it are the saints.
Okay.
Don't make it any more complicated than it has to be. What the? That's the point too. I think people do that often too with Mormons. Like they make it more complicated than it has to be. They're Christians. They believe in Jesus. It's like the same. Like it's nothing any different. It's like not like they're not like fucking worshiping the devil or anything. Like it's the same thing. It's like in the same manner. Like Catholics are Christian. Yeah, Baptist people are Christian. The Ku Klux Klan is Christian. Yeah.
Always great talking to you. I'm glad I got the update on everything. Keep in touch about the tour and all that stuff because I'm intrigued in this project. I think it could work out if you like do it the right way.
Yeah.
So let's keep talking about that
All
for
right.
sure. All right. Thank you, Minna.
All right, cool.